Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and my page. So this is going to be a part two to an earlier video that I made on why Dr. Umar Johnson is the most controversial psychologist in America right now. Like, it is crazy, and I support him. I respect him 100% because this man is out on a mission. He's out on a mission to do a lot for the African American community. He's already done a lot, and he has so much more to do. And then you got some haters want to try to interfere with that. But we ain't gonna let the haters and naysayers get in our way. We're gonna allow them to elevate us. And in the first part, at the end of the first part of my video on why Dr. Umar Johnson is the most controversial psychologist in America, I was talking about how there are different splits within the field of psychology. So we have originally psychology, especially when it comes to psychotherapy, originated with Sigmund Freud. Most of you guys are familiar with the id, the ego, the superego that he discovered, right, in psychology. And within the classical field of psychology, the earlier roots of it, they took a different approach. It was more about being kind of outside of the frame when working with the client. So the doctor basically positioned themselves outside of the frame to be more objective, in order to conceptualize the client's problem and be able to treat the problem. Then with the new way, there was a new school developed out of the classical school. They call it the British Middle School. And they had a whole new slew of psychologists within that school who felt like, wait a minute, we want to take a different approach. So that's the thing with, psychology, and not just psychology, but a lot of different disciplines. I mean, you have people, scientists, who see things from different perspectives. So within the middle school, they saw that it was more effective to be more decentered out of oneself and kind of centered with the patient, centered with the client, where you're able to empathize with the client and put yourself in the client's shoes. And then in the third school, they kind of move more, they call it contemporary. So it's more about basically being centered in oneself, where the therapist / doctor is centered in themselves. And they are still able to relate to the client in a more natural way of relating to the client. And so that is the most, that's a more modern approach to working with clients and conceptualizing clients' problems and treating clients. And that's where we are today. And I think it's beautiful to see this unfold with Dr. Johnson and, his critics. Basically they're probably his number one fans, but they pose themselves as his critics and want to question his credibility, saying that he's not a psychologist, he's not a doctor, when we all know he's a doctor. I mean, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to know that a psychologist is a type of doctor. Right. And so I say that to say that there are many different approaches. There are many different theoretical approaches to conceptualizing human behavior. And the more contemporary approach, which what you see a lot of therapists operating today, they are centered within themselves, but they also are able to connect with the patient on a more interpersonal level. It's more about the interpersonal relationship. That's the mechanism for change. Being able to be centered in one's identity, not to lose who a person is. However, Shonda, I don't want to ignore you guys' comments, but I really have some things I have to say and cover in this video, so I got to stay focused. So feel free to share this video. Please do share this video because more people need to hear this. And I appreciate Dr. Umar Johnson. He actually shared my video that I made, on why his channel got shut down. Like, YouTube shut down his channel, and I talked about that. I went into it in more detail. And, he shared the video, and I appreciate that. So I want you guys to share this video because more eyes need to see it. It's so unfortunate. And like I was saying, so I was, talking about the different splits within psychology, right? That's why we have many different disciplines within psychology. We don't just have clinical psychologists. And I think a lot of you guys who are attacking him or misperceiving what's happening, you're thinking that there's only one type of psychologist, a clinical psychologist. But no, we have school psychologists, we have industrial psychologists, we have child psychologists, gerund psychology, dealing with the elderly. We have forensic psychology, dealing with criminals. There are many different branches of psychology, guys. And even within the field, we see things differently, So within that means that there are different, unfortunately, there are different agency or licensing bodies that give clinicians, give psychologists their credentials, So I think that's where you guys kind of got misinterpreted, thinking that, okay, because he's a certified school psychologist, he doesn't really hold the same credential or weight as, I don't know, you guys call a real psychologist. He's a psychologist, you guys. A psychologist is a psychologist. It's just different areas of psychology that people specialize in. And school psychology is a specialization. It's something that he's trained to do. So let's get past the whole, oh, he's not a licensed psychologist. He's not credentialed. No, he has his credentials. He used to work for Pennsylvania public school system, and he decided to branch away and do something different. And like I said, I think it's beautiful to see this thing unfold because it's interesting. Like, we live, psychologists, therapists alike, we are practicing in the more contemporary school of thought. So it's perfectly fine, you guys, for a therapist to be centered in themselves, to hold on to their identity. And I think that's the biggest issue. Like, you guys are trying to make sense of how can he be African? How can he stand up for who he is and what he believes in and fighting and what he's fighting for, and at the same time be a doctor? Like, y'all just don't see how he can do that. Like, it's cognitive dissonance happening right now in you guys' mind. Like, you're trying to figure out, how can he, first of all, how can he be black and be a doctor? And then on top of that, how can he hold the views that he holds within his approach? He's a black nationalist, and at the same time be considered, a professional doctor. But hey, I get it, you guys. A lot of you guys probably don't hold graduate degrees or any degree for that matter. So you're trying to figure out, like, how can this man be as educated as he is? And I think it's beautiful that he's pouring his knowledge back out into the community, like what he's learned, and based on his experience and his training, he's giving it back to the community for free. But he's criticized. And so I'm like, okay, I get it. I see why he's under attack. I see why the haters are after him. Why they want to shut down his YouTube channel, his GoFundMe page. They don't want to see the FDMG Academy exist because he's just different. And it's okay to be different. It's okay to develop a different theoretical approach. He's not killing nobody. He's not trying to attack anyone, berate anybody, belittle anybody. He's just trying to uplift the African American community, which he has been doing. And then he is all about educating black families, promoting black unity, promoting black nationalism, empowering the black community. That's beautiful. I'm like, I get it. I see why he's under attack. And I was talking about, because this is the thing, this is actually my second attempt to make this part 2. Like, I made it earlier, but it was skipping and breaking up, so I ended up just deleting it because it wasn't a good copy. So this is my second attempt. But in my video that I made earlier, I referenced Dr. Daniel Amen, who is a very reputable figure in medicine. He's a medical doctor, but his focus is on neuroscience. And he looks at the brain, he talks about the brain. I think he's actually a psychiatrist. So of course that would make him, he crosses over psychology and medicine. That's his area of focus and study. And this man is a genius, right? He has centers all across the country where he does these brain scans. That's his kind of primary meat and butter of his practice. He does brain scans, which obviously costs a lot of money to look at one's brain. But his theory is that you can't really treat behavior until you're able to look at what you're studying. And he makes his reference in his practice to say, that it's funny how psychiatrists are the only doctors that don't look at the organ that they treat. You know, like every other medical doctor within the branch of medicine, they actually look at the figure, you know, they look at the organ that they are treating. But he's saying that, you know, within common practice of psychiatry, a lot of psychiatrists just don't look at the brain. And so that's where he stands out. And I made the reference to Dr. Daniel. Amen. By the way, Dr. Daniel, like if you're watching this, I have obviously nothing against you. You know, I support you. I've talked about you in several other of my videos. So I love what you're doing. Ever since my psychodynamic professor gave me a jump drive for Christmas with your lectures on it, like I've just been falling in love with you. So I love what you do. I love, you know, your theoretical approach. I just love your work. But I have to say this because it's relevant, that even with as much success as Dr. Daniel Amen has, and he has a lot of success with his practice, this man, he got to be a billionaire because he, like I said, he got centers across the nation. Just look up, Google Dr. Daniel Amen. And he's based out here in California. And he has a YouTube channel, you know, and I follow his videos, his YouTube channel and everything. But I'm like, even Dr. Daniel Amen, with as much success as he has, and I put him up here, you know, when it comes to our field, our profession. No, I feel like no other psychologist, nobody else in the field, not just psychology, but medicine alone, who calls themselves a doctor, like they don't compare. I hate to say it, but you just don't compare to Dr. Umar Johnson with respect to the level of influence they have. Because like I said, even Dr. Daniel Amen, he has a YouTube channel, but seeing how Dr. Umar Johnson, when he created his YouTube channel, his shit took off. His channel took off. This man was pushing 20,000 subscribers within weeks, you guys. Like within weeks. Do you not know how hard it is to get one person to subscribe to your channel? And the fact that he was able to get nearly 20,000 within weeks, that's power and influence. So I know that's the reason why he is, one of the reasons anyway, why he is considered to be the most controversial psychologist in America, because his level of influence, like political influence, social influence, this man is powerful. No other doctor in America can touch this man when it comes to influence. Like, who else is doing it right now? You know, he got it on many different fronts. This man has an education. He has, influence in education. You know, he has influence in the clinical arena, and definitely where it matters the most, in politics. That's why I feel where it matters the most. And because I feel like he is a different kind of psychologist. Like, he's not your ordinary psychologist, so to speak, you know? Like, you think of your traditional psychologists, like, they just kind of stick with the status quo. They go with the flow. They kind of regurgitate everything that's been told to them, and they just kind of practice within that, right? But then you have your different psychologists, your extraordinary psychologists, your psychologists that go beyond the box that people try to put them in. They go up and beyond the call of duty, up and beyond the scope of their credentials to make an influence, which he has already done. That's what we have when we're talking about Dr. Umar Johnson. He calls himself also Dr. Umar Ifantunde. This man is a genius. He has influence. Might as well say, not only is he the most controversial psychologist, but he is the most influential psychologist right now in America. Now, if you think somebody else is more influential than Dr. Umar Johnson, go ahead and drop some names. Feel free to drop some names. But right now, especially when it comes to African American community, not just us, because apparently his influence has crossed over to other nationalities, to other races. Apparently he's influencing not just black people, but white people. Because look at them. They feeling, anytime you ruffle the feathers of the dominant structure, the status quo, anytime those feathers begin to get ruffled, apparently you have affected white people. Apparently you have affected more than just black people. That's why I applaud him, because he is fearless. And he is going to rise higher and higher and higher. And I call him the Harriet Tubman of the 21st century. That's what this man is. Like, he is leading an exodus of African Americans psychologically out of their bondage. And y'all want to question his credentials? Look at this man. He is a walking genius. This man is leaking knowledge for free most of the time. When you guys see his YouTube videos, his Facebook Live videos, his Instagram videos, that is priceless information. Only a wise person can appreciate that. Only a wise person. So I want you guys to share this video, get the word out. I encourage us to unite. We have to come together and unite for the cause. It's not about focusing on an individual. It's about focusing on the cause, but also protecting the individuals who stand for the cause. And that's what I think is most important. We need protection for Dr. Umar Johnson and other leaders out here, even including myself. Because if we're going to make change, we have to know that they ain't going to just lie down and let us make change, apparently. It ain't just lying down. And I'm glad that there are black men out there who exist, who are fearless, as such as Dr. Umar Johnson. He is a leader, man, on so many different levels. Not just for the little boys that he is impacting, not just for the single black mothers, but for also black men. A lot of black men have been inspired by Dr. Umar Johnson to stand up themselves and be men, to stand up themselves and be dominant men. I think that's why I like Dr. Umar Johnson so much, because he emanates power. He emanates dominance, alpha male, you know? He's willing to put his life on a line. He's willing to put his credentials on the line. If it means that. I'm pretty sure he didn't go to school for that many years and invest that much money to just lose his credentials. No. But if there's a conflict, sometimes it happens that way. There's a conflict of interest. And people don't want to see real change happen. People want to keep things the same. They turn a blind eye to what's happening. He talks about the psychoacademic Holocaust. He wrote a book on it, which I am citing in my research. I've cited Dr. Umar Johnson several times in my papers that I've posted on my website, dreampathways.org and behappy.org, spelled BIHAPI.org. And that website is pretty much centered around my research focus and my dissertation. He's being cited heavily in my dissertation that I am in the process of developing. Like, I love his theoretical approach. I love his energy. And I just know that the movement is going to go. He has contributed so much to the movement. It's just getting bigger and stronger and better because of Dr. Umar Johnson. Because he stands firm on what he believes in. That's what we need. We need African American men, and not just African American, but we need African people from around the world to just stand up, be strong. Sometimes it means going against people from other nationalities, because it's just opposing views. If your survival is your survival, sometimes it boils down to that. It doesn't mean that he's creating division. We already have division. There's already a war, a race war going on. There's already a war going on regardless. So it's not like, he's trying to divide the races and further segregate. Like, no. He's just saying, like, come on, y'all. This is the same narrative that we've been hearing over and over and over again. He's continuing the fight, which I appreciate, because a lot of y'all just living off of MLK, thinking, okay, MLK done enough, so we got it, we good. No, we not good, y'all. This fight continues every single generation. The fight continues. It was a fight for equality during MLK's time. I like the fact that Dr. Umar Johnson, he's changing it around a little bit to say, no, we don't have to fight for equality. First of all, we don't have to compare ourselves to anyone. We are who we are. We can stand on our own 2 feet. We don't have to integrate. Yes, we live in America, but we also can build a nation in and of ourselves. That's why I respect the man so much. Because he sees that it's much deeper than just education. It's much deeper than therapy. It's much deeper than that. The therapy is political. Until we get down to the nitty-gritty of what it is, ain't no amount of therapy gonna change nothing. So I like that he's attacking this issue, this socio-political issue, from many different levels. He already did it from a personal level, one-on-one, working with children in the school system and parents, in the school system. Now, you know what he's doing? He's taking it a step further and broadening the scope and working not only with children, not only with parents, not only with families, but he's affecting communities now. So I see that's why y'all got a problem, because this man is affecting communities, whole communities of people. That is big, y'all. You don't need a lot of people to make change. One person can make change. People say, what is he doing? Oh, if he wasn't doing nothing, y'all wouldn't be coming for him. Y'all wouldn't be coming for him. That's what it is. He's doing a lot. He's already done a lot. That's why y'all so mad. It makes perfect sense. Y'all want to keep black people oppressed. This man is freeing black people. Politically, that means a lot. When you start to free people who have been enslaved psychologically, that means something, especially when the people who have them enslaved ain't ready. They ain't seeing it coming. They don't see it coming. And he's changing people's minds for the better. This is not for the worse. It's interesting, though, how someone commented on one of my videos and like, oh, we just want to protect you guys who follow Dr. Umar from Dr. Umar. And I'm like, no. Initially I said, he's not a threat. But I had to take a step back and think. I said, you know what? Actually, in their mind, he is a threat. So essentially, they are revealing themselves, because these people pose as black people a lot of times. Like, oh, we just trying to help you, trying to look out for the black community and protect y'all from a black man. Protect the black community. Like, just say that out loud, y'all. Protect. Somebody come and say, no, we just trying to protect y'all, meaning the black community, from Dr. Umar Johnson, a black man. Does that make any sense, y'all? That don't make no damn sense. When somebody says something like that, you know what that says? You are the enemy. Because basically, that translates as you're trying to turn the black community against a black man. We know that's white people MO. We know that's the enemy's MO. Not to say all white people are the enemy, but the oppressor, being predominantly white, that's his tactic. Trying to turn blacks against each other. It originated with the Willie Lynch letter. This ain't nothing new, y'all. This stuff has been going on for years. A lot of black people and white people try to act like, silly, like they don't know what's going on. Like, oh no, that was many years ago. No, you guys, wake up. He's trying to educate you guys. He's educating and telling you guys what's happening. Open your eyes. That's the whole point of consciousness. So that you're not asleep. A lot of people are distracted. You get on social media, you get caught up in these funny memes and stuff. That's a distraction from what's really happening. You have black people being killed, innocent black people being killed by the police across the nation, and then you'll have a video posted about this incident on social media, and people say, oh, I didn't know about this. And the video can be like 3 years old. And people are like, oh, I'm just seeing this for the first time. Bingo. That's the power of distraction. That is what's happening. People are being distracted, and all Dr. Umar is a whispering voice to say, hey, wake up. Do you see this? Do you see what's happening? But obviously, it makes sense. I mean, obviously, it's easier, right, to avoid your problems, to act like you don't see what's happening. Ignorance is bliss for a lot of people. To bring about change, it takes effort. To really turn things around for the black community, it takes effort. It takes courage. You think those people who brought about change during the civil rights movement and the slaves who fought through the shit they had to go through, you thought they did that with no effort? No. It took effort on their behalf. It took courage to fight through that. We have to stand up. It's okay to fight. It's okay to lose your life as long as you're losing your life for a good cause. It's perfectly fine. You will be remembered. It's not about you anyway. It's about the collective. If only we can get more Black people to understand that, we can get a little bit further in life. But he's doing awesome work. I encourage Dr. Umar Johnson to keep doing what he's doing. Is beautiful. Very beautiful. And the idea of the FDMG Academy is just magnificent. I can see why people are turning over in their sleep. They can't even think straight. They can't even function. They can't even go about their days. They just have to sit here and stop and focus on what Dr. Umar Johnson is doing, because it's almost like a state of emergency in their mind. Like, oh, emergency, emergency, emergency. We have a Black person trying to bring about change. Woo, that's something else, boy. That's how you know you're a powerful person, man. Salute. I salute Dr. Umar Johnson. More people need to salute this man. We need all of his followers. If you're watching this and you claim that you are a believer in the movement, you are a supporter of the movement, and you support Dr. Umar Johnson, there are many ways to show support for the movement. I think the biggest, most important thing is to make a donation to his academy that he is in the process of developing. It takes time to develop an institution, you guys. It takes time. But that would be great if a Black person who got some money, and even if y'all ain't got no money, just donate what you can. Just imagine the difference it could make going forward. We can just think outside of the present and think about the future, then that would be great. Think about the future generations. They will thank you for doing this for them. That's one way to help the movement and support the movement. But there are many different ways. You know, you can make a video just saluting Dr. Umar Johnson, paying tribute to him. I even said maybe we should start a campaign, a petition to get Dr. Umar Johnson's channel back reinstated, to get it back enabled, because that is so wrong that they do him like that. They want to say, oh, freedom of speech, but obviously it's freedom of speech with conditions. And then someone even mentioned the fact that you have this man, what's his name, Alex Jones. Y'all know the white man that be talking about the controversial political stuff. I'm sure he be ruffling feathers, but he ain't got his channel shut down. His name was Alex Jones or whatever his name is. All kinds of people making all kinds of videos. They channels ain't get shut down, but they want to come after the Black man. And they be doing that too to a lot of Black YouTubers, I've noticed. The young Black YouTubers, the vloggers. And sometimes that's the reason why they have to create new YouTube channels, because here come the haters want to get them shut down. They see, I think, who knows? It probably wasn't even Dr. Umar Johnson haters. You know, maybe Dr. Umar Johnson had a new hater called YouTube that saw his numbers just climbing, and they don't want to pay him, because you know after you reach a certain threshold, you can monetize your channel. And they probably don't want that. I think that would have been brilliant, man. See, because I even told him, because I saw that a lot of people were posting his videos. They will snatch his videos, which is really copyright theft, and upload them to their channel and get paid for it. You get what I'm saying? And I don't think that's right. So I was like, you got to get your own channel, man. And he finally got his own channel. I was so happy for him. It's like, yes, you know. And then this happens. They want to disable it. Like, he didn't have it within weeks, several weeks. You know, he had it and they shut it down. But it was like the numbers were climbing. Y'all should have saw the numbers. I was just so happy to see him doing so well. And then they want to hate. But I was thinking the monetization that he would have created with, you know, his YouTube channel, he would have made some money, and that money could definitely help seed the school. But that's the establishment. They see what he was talking about, and they don't want to pay the man. That's all that is. I'm sure he had monetized his channel, because somebody had told him that he could monetize it, and they didn't want to see that man making no money. I hate that, man. That's discrimination right there. They didn't want to see him making no money, off of his videos, off of his very controversial videos. And so they want to shut his thing down. So I'm like, man, I wish Dr. Umar Johnson had his own app. We got to start a campaign. Let's get Dr. Umar Johnson to create his own app. Dr. Umar Johnson app needs to come, because that would be beautiful. And we would have, you can have membership, you know, people can pay to join. I say I would pay to join, because, you know, you have free apps, but you have apps that cost money to download, you know, pay $5 to download it. But I think his app would be worth like a good $100. Like, he should, yeah, for real, because the stuff, the jewels that he dropped, that's exclusive, top-notch info. That's classified information right there. And then a lot of y'all don't even deserve to hear the jewels that he dropped. So he can make like a private membership on his app where people, you know, only he allows certain people to get approved, and they pay a fee to be able to download the app to stay connected to this man, you know. And his ways, I'm sure he can screen out to make sure that it ain't no haters and ain't no, you know, you got some iffy people that want to sit up here and try to infiltrate or whatever. But I think he really should do that. That would be beautiful. We gotta just come up with something, man, because I think that he has a lot of momentum going. He already established his own brand. Dr. Umar Johnson is a brand. Very powerful one at that, you know? And people just want to, you know, hate. That's comes with the territory. That's like in any business. It don't matter if he was, you know, this political person, just being a successful business owner, which he is. He's like, this man wears so many hats, and that's why he's so much under attack too, I think, because even as a successful business owner, you got your competitors. You got people trying to, like, you know, take what you got, right? And that's so unfortunate, but kudos to Dr. Umar Johnson. You know, I only can just encourage you to keep doing what you're doing. You guys who support him, you know, just speak positivity. We can't entertain foolishness. We can't entertain negativity. We just got to stay positive about the movement and, you know, just keep it moving forward. That's the only thing we can do. Keep it moving forward. I even said in my previous video, even after he crosses over into the next life, he still already has a legacy that he's going to leave behind. He's impacted so many people's minds. Like, come on, just think about it. He's a trending topic. People are talking about Dr. Umar Johnson, a lot of people. And he's already in a lot of people's minds, you know, his theoretical approach, his principles, what he stands for, like, it's already ingrained. Thank God. And once you've been, like, woken up, you can't go back to sleep. So y'all mad, just stay mad. It's like what's that say? Who mad? Who mad? Yeah, that's all y'all can do is just be mad, and eventually emotions change. You might be mad today, and then tomorrow you're gonna become a Dr. Umar Johnson. You only can hate for so long. You only can live with hate in your heart for so long, and guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna start to deteriorate, baby, because hate has a biological component. It has a biological component. So you're only doing harm to your own body. That stress, that negative energy that you hold within your body is deteriorating you. Yes, you. The troll that wants to comment on this video and want to attack Dr. Umar Johnson and what he's doing. That hate that you have, that energy, that negative energy that compels you to speak negative and false statements about Dr. Umar Johnson that are not true. Oh yeah, you're doing harm to yourself. Just know that. So that's why I encourage everybody. I'll try to spread love to everyone. I can't live with hate in my heart because it's just like they say, too heavy of a burden to bear, baby. I choose love, and I believe Dr. Umar Johnson chooses love. He is just more dominant about it. He's more alpha male about it, you know, and that's why I have respect for him. You know, he's like the male version of me in a way, you know. But let me go, you guys. Catch you guys in the next video. Peace, love, and positivity. Peace out.